I'll just go ahead and get into it. So what I wanted to talk about today was Looksism and BP, specifically the BP community. I think personally it's gotten way out of control. Like, all of these normies are coming into the BP community, and it's just making the whole movement and the whole thing like uneventful, and it's honestly making it a very toxic environment for all of these newcomers trying to get into BP. Now, I'm not going to say that BP is the best thing to get into, right? Like, it's obviously not. And like black pill and, you know, genetic determinism and all of those schools of thought are simply just not any good ones to fall into. However, I will say, at the end of your BP journey, after you do go through it long enough, you do kind of just start seeing the trends and patterns, right, in everyday life. And like statistics, I mean, you can't really argue with that, right? So the statistics say, well, women are more hypergamous than men, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to ever get a girl if you're this, this, and this. But that's not what BP was ever about. BP was never about mogging. BP was never about slaying. BP was never about any of this. BP was always about ascending and then realizing how evil the world is, right? The world treats people who are ugly horrifically. However, you can't let that get you down. You need to ascend regardless, simply because the world requires you to do so. And like, yeah, it's a harmful belief to fall into, especially if you're young, you know, and impressionable, but ultimately it's going to help you in the future, and it's going to help you become a better person too. I think most BPers aren't just assholes, especially if they've been in BP long enough. They aren't just assholes going around trotting like, oh my gosh, I mogged you, oh, 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 like they're some, you know, fancy fucking, you know, somebody, right? But they will go around and they do just make the community toxic. Now, let's get into something like that's even crazier. It's the grays, right? All of the new people to BP, it's ridiculous, bro. PSL equals appeal. What are we even talking about here? PSL is for guys, appeal is for girls. Like, no, PSL is bone structure measured, and appeal is how well the harmonization looks of your face. That's what distinguishes them. But you have all these grays come in here and say, oh, it's for the girls, it's for the guys. No, BP was never about being for a specific gender or being for somebody. BP was always about ascending and becoming the best version of yourself that you possibly can be, and then realizing the evils of the world. That's all BP was ever supposed to be about. But you have all of these newcomers coming in here, all these grays, taking our terms that we coined and then just going crazy with it. Now, I'm not even going to talk about like the whole Foid, LARPers, true jesters, because I use all of those terms. And personally, I think memifying it is kind of hilarious, and will take people, you know, kind of like myself, away from the community more than not memifying. Kind of like how Charlie Kirk's death took people a little bit further away from his movement because he got memed on so hard. And I hope that that does happen with BP, because ultimately, at the end of the day, BP is a bad mentality to have, and it's never a good thing to be part of the BP community. But I just wanted to come on here and say all of these newcomers are ruining the actual merit that BP has, which is becoming a better person, looking better so society treats you better, and then treating other people better because you recognize the injustices of that society. That's what BP is all about. That's what it's always been about. But all of these newcomers want to come in here and say, oh, it's about mogging, it's about slaying. Like, no, bro, no. But yeah, that's about it. This battle is about to come to a very swift ending, dude. I go for the crunch with Tyranitar here, and yeah, it's just not a fun day. He doesn't get the flinch off, luckily. And yeah, it's just not a fun day for him. Yeah, that's about it.